Well, tonight on 12 News at 10, all eyes are on battleground Arizona as voters determine who will square off in the November general election. Good evening and thanks for staying with us tonight. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kari Lake. A U.S. Senate seat is up for grabs along with the governor's position, Secretary of State, Attorney General, and many other positions statewide.
The election results have been coming in, and let's take a quick look at them right now. And this is a big surprise. Arizona governor for the Republican nominee, Karen Taylor Robson, who was trailing in all of the polling leading up to today, now leading Kari Lake by 9 percentage points.
Taking a look now at the Democratic side for Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State, has already been declared the winner for tonight's primary. She's bringing in so far 73.6% of the vote, with Marco Lopez at 21.7%.
U.S. Senate side on the GOP ticket, Blake Masters, the Trump-endorsed candidate, leading Jim Layman 34% to 30%. That's a close race.
The results now coming in for Arizona's Secretary of State. On the Democratic side, we have Adrian Fontes leading Reginald Boulding. Fontes right now at 52.7% of the vote.
Arizona Secretary of State, and this is huge. If you were with us in our 9 o'clock hour, we talked about the power of this race when it comes to not only the next couple of years, but leading up to 2024. Mark Fincham, the far right-leaning conservative, leading Bo Lane by almost 10 points.
All right, looking at the race for Arizona Attorney General. Right now, we have Abraham Hamadeh. He has 28% of the vote. He is leading this group right now. Rodney Glassman as 24.3% and Andrew Gold at 18%.
Superintendent of Public Instruction Tom Horn back in the public eye, leading Sherry Saper 42% to 30% by a wide margin.
All right, here's the race for the Republicans. State Treasurer Kimberly Yee has a sizable lead against her opponents. She has 57.4% of the vote. Coming in at second is, moving on now to the Corporation Commissioner there. We've got Nicholas Myers in second place and Kevin Thompson leading at 38%. Well, the race to replace Governor Ducey has turned into a battle between former President Donald Trump and former Vice President Mike Pence, throwing his support behind Karen Taylor Robson, while Trump is backing Kari Lake. And whoever wins the GOP nomination is going to be going up against former Secretary of State Katie Hobbs. Hobbs has won the Democratic nomination for governor.
Team 12's Colleen Sikora is live from her campaign headquarters, and that's turned into a big celebration tonight, Colleen.
Yeah, it was a big celebration, a lot of cheers, a lot of excitement as those results came in earlier this evening, quite early in the evening for a lot of these results. But now the party's winding down a bit. Last few pictures are getting taken here as Katie Hobbs took the stage quite a while ago. But when she did, she declared that her and her supporters had won and said while the 2020 election was important, that this one is even more important, saying that democracy is at stake. Now, Hobbs, who is currently the state's top election official, talked about how she experienced threats to her and her family and had protesters outside of her home following the 2020 election, and said again that Arizona's elections are safe and secure. And we just spoke with her a few minutes ago. Hobbs said, well, it's not clear yet who her Republican opponent will be. She's ready to win the general with issues that matter to Arizonans.
What I'm hearing most from people is they want us to fund our public schools. They want us to protect access to safe and legal abortion. They want someone who's going to address our water crisis and rising costs, like you said. I mean, that's, I think, first and foremost for most Arizonans I'm talking to. Everyone's feeling it. And again, the Republicans aren't offering any solutions.
Now, Hobbs has continually said throughout this race for the primary that she was focused on the general. She says that's now going to be her focus, no matter who her opponent is going to be, saying that she's going to wait on accurate results over waiting for fast results. So we'll see what happens in that race. But for now, we're live in Phoenix. Colleen Sikora, 12 News.
Colleen, thanks. Team 12's Tram Mai joins us live from Kari Lake's campaign headquarters in Scottsdale. And Tram, in our last hour, there had been no sign of Kari Lake. Have you seen her, and what's the energy in the room?
The energy is high, the crowd is excited, but we are still waiting to hear from Kari Lake. I've got Billy Grant, chief strategist for her campaign. Robeson is up by 9 points. When are we going to hear from Kari Lake, and what is the sentiment?
Well, we're waiting for more results to come in. We're actually winning election day votes at 32% right now, and we need to win about 30%. So actually right now we're on track for victory. We're going to wait for a couple more votes to come in, and then we'll get on stage.
And so, I mean, earlier, one of your speakers had said that she is about to come out. Do you anticipate when?
I think maybe when we get the next big ballot dump and we have a better idea of where things are at. But for right now, we're just going to wait, see what comes in, and then make a decision when we want to come out and address the crowd.
And how is she feeling?
She's feeling good. Like I said, we need to win 30% of election day voters. We're currently winning 32%. We're on track for victory.
But how do you know that?
The current numbers that we're seeing, that's where the numbers are at. With what's come in, we're winning by 32%, and the current margin, we need to win 30%. So we're just going off the numbers that are in right now.
All right, Billy Grant, thank you so much for your time. Again, still waiting, still trying to see when exactly she will be coming out, but if she does within the next half hour, obviously we will bring it to you live. Back to you.
All right, Tran, we'll see you soon. Well, Kari Lake's biggest competition right now is Karen Taylor Robeson. She has support from Governor Doug Ducey and also former Vice President Mike Pence, as well as a lot of voters who showed up to her campaign rally.
Team 12's Bianca Bono continues our coverage. She's live in Phoenix. And Bianca, what's the crowd like there, considering that Karen Taylor Robeson has a 9-point lead?
Yeah, well, guys, the crowd is very energetic, and it seems to be building. I want to show you what's happening right now. Members of the crowd here were just encouraged to gather around the stage. They're passing out signs. There is a buzz in the crowd right now. You could see folks gathering on the stage. I see members of Karen Taylor Robeson's family on the stage, members of her campaign. That's because an announcement was made that she is expected to speak any minute. We were told by her spokesman it's going to be probably around 10:10. So if my phone is correct here, it should be in 2 minutes. So the crowd is really excited. So unlike what we saw Tram reporting there over at Lake's campaign, they're waiting for the next ballot drop to come down. Taylor Robeson's camp is saying, hey, we are ahead right now. We have the energy, we have the momentum. Let's take advantage and let's talk to our supporters. So again, expected to hear from her for the first time tonight in the next 2 minutes. About 30 minutes ago or so, Matt Salmon, who was running for the governor's race as well, he spoke to the crowd. He, of course, has dropped out of the race and endorsed Karen Taylor Robeson. Interestingly enough, I'm curious to know what Bram has to say about this. His name was still on the ballot, and at last check, it looked like he was getting about 4% of the vote. So when all of this is said and done, I'm very curious to see if that plays a role in all of this or not. But again, right now, Karen Taylor Robeson is leading Kari Lake by 9% in this GOP versus MAGA standoff that we are experiencing in real time, guys. If she comes to the stage, we'll certainly have you come back to us. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Team 12's Bianca Bono live at Karen Taylor Robeson headquarters. We will bring you her speech as soon as she takes the stage. But also developing tonight, major voting problems in Pinal County. Several precincts reported that they actually ran out of ballot for in-person voters.
Team 12's Chase Golightly has been following this issue all day and joins us now with the very latest. Chase?
Well, the only update we've been able to receive from Pinal County officials is that they opened up one of its polling locations until 9 o'clock to allow those excess voters to come in and poll and to vote in person. But besides that, county officials are telling us this is simply an embarrassment for the county. The fact that they ran out of paper ballots at the majority of their polling locations should have never happened, and they're now calling for an investigation to find out exactly what occurred. They said the majority of their locations, about 20, again, ran out of in-person Republican paper ballots, or they ran incredibly low, really only had a few to spare. Again, now trying to look into exactly what happened, but we did speak with several frustrated voters here today that said they started coming out in the early afternoon and they were turned away not once, not twice, but 4 times. Whenever they walked in through those doors, they were just told, yes, they have no paper ballots to vote for. Now, as for the solution, State Senator Kelly Townsend says it's really up in the air right now with where the county goes from here, given that this isn't the only problem they ran into this election.
it's not a good situation. We've had so many issues already with Pinal County, and there was an issue earlier today about the wrong, like a write-in candidate was missing on one of the ballots. So it's just been an all-around problematic election for Pinal County. People are not happy.
Now, officials have told us some scenarios that may happen. A county supervisor telling us if too many people were not able to vote today, they may not certify this election. There's also the idea of having another primary election sometime between now and November before the general election. Now, those answers may be revealed tomorrow. The county telling us they will be holding a press briefing at 1 o'clock. But at the same time, the Arizona Republican Party is demanding that the director of elections for Pinal County resign immediately. We'll be sure to bring you the latest details as we learn more. For now, reporting live in Apache Junction, Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. We also have a Senate race going on. Two frontrunners are emerging for the Republican ticket, Jim Layman and Blake Masters. Blake Masters, of course, the Trump-endorsed candidate. The winner will take on Democratic incumbent Mark Kelly.
Masters is holding his campaign rally in Chandler tonight, and that is where we find Team 12's Michael Doudna. Hey, Michael.
Hey guys, yeah, we're still waiting to hear from Blake Masters. It could be in a couple of minutes. It could be a while from now. We may hear from a campaign representative instead of Masters. It's still a bit of a wait and see, and that's kind of how this race has been the entire time. Now, if you look behind me, this is really the most people we've actually seen at this rally. We've actually seen a lot less people than we probably expected to come out here, especially compared to what we've been seeing in a couple of the governor's races. Now, both of these candidates have been very similar. Both have millions of dollars that we're spending in this nasty campaign, despite the candidates being very similar. But I can tell you, I was talking to Blake Masters earlier. He seemed a little nervous, but for the most part, he felt pretty confident. A lot of the people here felt confident. But right now, this race is still too close to call. And they're wondering exactly what's going to happen as more ballots come in. If that margin gets bigger, or if it stays the same, or potentially if it gets smaller and this thing goes really down to the wire. But for now, we're kind of in the wait-and-see mode for this election and also for Blake Masters. We're live in Chandler. Michael Doudna, 12 News.
Okay, Michael, thank you. Jim Layman is also vying for the GOP nomination in the race for Senate.
Jim Layman is a guy who dumped a ton of his own money into this race. Team 12's Erica Stapleton continues our coverage. She's live at his campaign party tonight. And Erica, how's the reaction been so far?
Hey, Mark, the mood here is actually really uplifting. People have been dancing. People have been really excited to see Jim Layman out here. He's actually still here right now. If you guys can see him, take a look over here. He's been greeting people in the crowd, and then he also addressed the crowd earlier today saying the race is probably going to be too close to call tonight.
All right, and Ducey-backed Republican Karen Taylor Robeson is addressing voters right now. Let's take a listen.
And with the latest data dump, we continue to maintain a solid lead, thanks to the support of Arizonans just like you. And you have entrusted me with the most powerful possession that exists in a constitutional republic, your vote. And that means the world to me. I will not let you down. And now we just need to be patient. The process is not over, and Arizona's 15 county election offices will continue to process ballots through the night and over the coming days. There are a lot of good people involved in this process, and it is vitally important that they take the time necessary to get it right. Whether you cast a ballot for me or one of my opponents, every legitimate vote counts. Now, you may have heard my opponent say some things. She started making vague accusations about voter fraud even before the first vote was counted. But don't let her get you down. Remember, talk is cheap. She has no veto process over the votes being carried out and the process being carried out now, nor over the will of Arizona voters, period. And rest assured, our legal team is watching everything very, very closely. And I can assure you, just as we have in the 14 months since we launched our campaign, we will continue to fight for every lawful vote. And I'm standing here thanks to each of you. It's hard to believe, but this journey began 442 days ago. And I started at 0 in the polls. My opponent was at 43 points not that long ago. You probably could have counted all my supporters on your hands and have a few fingers to spare. And look at us today on the cusp of victory. And the path to bring us to where we are today was not a straight line. There were a lot of long days and late nights, but it has been an honor of a lifetime to be on this campaign journey with you, and I will never forget the way that Arizonans invited me into their homes, their businesses, their churches, and their community halls all across this great state. And I could not have done it without my family, who is with me tonight. My husband, Ed. My kids, Alexandra and her husband, Charlie. And Wesley, who already called it a night. My first grandson, first hopefully of many grandkids, Elizabeth. William. And Olivia. Okay, my sister Kim, somewhere. Where is he? My brother Greg, who flew in from Dallas. My brother Andy.
And that's Republican candidate Karen Taylor Robeson, who currently has a 9-point lead, but the night is still young, and we know how things go in Arizona. So we'll see what plays out as the evening wears on. You can keep track of these results even after we go off the air on 12news.com.